The story kicks off with Drasa, a sharpshooter hiding in a tunnel for hours. She's not just hiding for fun, she's lying in wait for her target. Drasa has been assigned a high-stakes mission: eliminate a government officer at a nearby airport. Soon, the plane touches down on the runway. As her target appears, Drasa takes the shot from several kilometers away and takes him out with deadly precision. She executes her mission so flawlessly that the guards around don't even realize who fired the shot or from where. After completing the mission, Drasa visits her mother's grave, where her father is already waiting. It's here we learn another layer about Drasa. Every time she takes a life with her rifle, she keeps the bullet casing as a token and later hands these casings to her father. Drasa is essentially a contract. Kilara, professional assassin who kills for money. While taking lives isn't something anyone should approve of, it has become her livelihood. Handing the bullet casings to her father helps ease some of the emotional weight of her work. During this visit, Drasa tells her father that she's received a new project, one that will last a whole year, and she might not be able to see him during this time. Her father, however, responds with a touch of familiarity and resignation, saying, "You come every year and leave me with a few bullet casings. You hand them over to me. But next year that won't happen." Drace's father continues, revealing a heartbreaking truth. His cancer has reached its final stage. He doesn't have much time left, and if death doesn't come naturally in the coming days, he has already decided that on February 14th, Valentine's Day, he will end his own life. For him, there's no reason left to keep living. Drasa's mother is already gone. Because of her dangerous profession, Drasa only manages to visit him once or twice a year. So this meeting might very well be their last. Hearing this, Drasa's eyes fill with tears. The scene now shifts, and we are introduced to the second lead character of the story, Levi. Levi's life is far from stable. He is constantly haunted by terrifying nightmares, and sleep feels like a distant dream. One night, after jolting awake from yet another nightmare, Levi steps out of his house and walks toward the seashore. Being near the ocean calms him slightly, and he begins writing something in his diary. Suddenly, Levi receives a message on his phone. The message contains an address and instructions telling him to get there as soon as possible. Without wasting any time, Levi reaches a military base. There, he meets a female officer named Bardo. As they talk, we learn that Levi is no ordinary man. He is a former army officer who is now retired. Not only that, he was once a deadly sniper. Over the course of his service, Levi has taken down more than 200 people through sniping. Bardo tells Levi that she wants to send him on a mission. According to her, he's an exceptional sniper, and this mission can only be handled by someone like him. But before assigning him the mission, Bardo asks Levi a very important question. If you go on this mission, is there anyone back home who would miss you? Hearing this, Levi feels a strange chill, but he replies calmly, "No. I don't have anyone left in this world who belongs to me." Bardo nods and tells him, "Then get ready. In a few hours, you'll be sent on the mission, and you'll have to stay there for a full year." Shortly after, Levi is rendered unconscious. When he wakes up, he finds himself aboard an airplane, disoriented and confused. He has no idea where he's being taken or what kind of mission awaits him. Trying to make sense of it all, Levi asks one of the soldiers on the plane, "Where are we going?" The soldier doesn't answer directly. Instead, he says, "Give me your ID and watch. You'll get them back once your mission is complete." A short while later, the soldier informs Levi, "It's time to leave the plane. In a few minutes, we'll be entering a no-fly zone. We don't have permission to go beyond that," continues. "Once you land, you'll have to walk 32 kilometers north on your own. That's how you'll reach your mission site." Even with these instructions, Levi can't shake off the nagging question in his mind. He asks the soldier again, "Where exactly are we going?" The soldier replies firmly, "I'm not authorized to answer that. There's a microphone in my uniform. If I tell you anything about this location, I could lose my job, or even my life." Levi feels a tight knot in his throat as fear and anticipation set in. He's then handed a parachute. As soon as the plane door opens, Levi jumps in and manages a safe landing. But this is just the beginning. The real game is about to start. And now he has 32 kilometers to cover on foot. Levi begins the grueling 32-kilometer trek on foot. 2 long days pass as he trudges through harsh terrain, and finally he reaches his destination. What he finds is a completely desolate area, so empty that not a single person or even a bird seems to inhabit. It's here that he meets a man named JD. JD had been on this mission for a year. But now his duty is over, and Levi is here to take his place. JD leads Levi to a white sash standing at the top of the tower. Levi still has no idea what exactly he's supposed to do here. When he asks JD, he finally gets an explanation. There's a very deep chasm here, JD says. It's called God. It's mysterious, and no one has ever reached the bottom. Your job is simple. You have to guard it. JD then explains the strict rules of this isolated post. You can call headquarters only once a month. No matter what happens, don't expect any connection with the outside world. This tower, West Tower, is yours. Directly across from you is the East Tower, controlled by Russia. There's a guard there too, but you're not allowed any contact. Your focus is only on your duty, he continues. Stay alert at all times. You could be attacked at any moment. Automatic guns are installed here, and the area below is loaded with landmines. Keep the guns reloaded because in an attack, they'll be your lifeline. And one more thing, if you ever hear a loud siren, run without hesitation. Don't think, just escape. JD admits, I don't even know why the instructions are like this. I'm just telling you what the previous duty officer told me. Levi listens carefully, absorbing every word. But a single question keeps running through his mind. He finally asks JD, what exactly is here that requires such strict security? At that moment, JD pulls out a grenade and throws it into the deep chasm. The moment it explodes in the depths, a strange, horrifying sound echoes back. It's not a sound any human could make. It's something far more terrifying, something lurking in the darkness. JD turns to Levi and says, the sound you're hearing? That's from creatures we call Hallowmen. They live inside this pit, and your duty here is to make sure none of them ever escape, he continues. Back in 1940, the U.S. Army sent 2,400 soldiers into this pit to eliminate every creature inside. But not a single one of them ever returned alive. Now, having completed his year-long duty, JD begins to prepare to leave. He tells Levi every piece of information he needs, and says goodbye. He's overjoyed to be going home after a year of this hellish assignment. But little did he know, something far more terrifying awaits him. Something that, just thinking about, would send chills down your spine. As JD reaches the location to be extracted, he sees signals with smoke. A helicopter arrives, lowering a rope for him to climb aboard. Once JD is in the helicopter, a soldier checks his identity. After JD gives him all the information, the soldier shocks him. He shoots JD and then cuts the rope, sending him plummeting to the ground. It becomes horrifyingly clear. Whoever comes to this place never leaves alive. The scene then shifts to the next day. Levi begins his duties. He starts by checking all the reports and reloading any automatic guns that have run out of ammo. The days pass this way, and soon a month goes by. But Levi begins to feel the monotony of this place. He can't help but wonder, am I really going to spend an entire year here? All alone? With no one to talk to and nothing to entertain himself, Levi struggles with the loneliness. To pass the time, he decides to read some books stored in the tower's cabinet. As he pulls the books out, his eyes catch something unusual on the wall behind the cabinet notes scribbled by those who had been on duty here before him. Each note spoke of fear, isolation, and the dangers posed by the Hallowmen. Reading them, Levi begins to realize just how intense and perilous this assignment truly is. One day, while working in the West Tower, Levi hears the sound of machinery. Quickly, he looks through his telescope to check the East Tower, and that's when he sees her girl. It's Drasa, because of her exceptional sniping skills. She's been assigned to this tower. Levi can't take his eyes off her. Her beauty is captivating, but he can't speak to her, and interaction is strictly against the rules. Likewise, Drassa has already noticed Levi sitting in the west tower. Days pass like this, filled with silent glances and unanswered questions, as both of them wonder, should they even try to communicate? Then, a few days later, it's Drassa's birthday. Surrounded by loneliness, she feels the need for some human connection. She tries to reach out to Levi using a whiteboard. "What's your name?" she writes. Levi hesitates, remembering the rules. He knows he's not allowed to reveal his name. But Drassa smiles and writes, "My name is Drassa." Without overthinking, Levi replies with his own name. Drassa then shares that it's her birthday. To celebrate, she starts dancing. Laughing, she turns to Levi and asks, "Do you know how to dance?" Levi admits, "No, I don't know how to dance at all." Drassa grins and asks, "Then what can you do?" Levi picks up a marker and writes on the board, "I'm somewhat good at shooting." To test his skills, Drassa places a small bottle on her tower. Levi takes aim through his scope and with a single shot, shatters the bottle perfectly. But Drassa isn't one to be outdone. She picks up her rifle and with flawless precision, shoots a small bottle placed in Levi's tower. Levi realizes then that Drassa isn't just any girl, she's a deadly sniper. Gradually, their silent communication turns into small conversations. Drassa and Levi start to understand each other, slowly bridging the isolation between them. Then, as they are talking, Drassa's eyes suddenly dart toward the chasm below. She sees something horrifying creatures, the Hollowmen, climbing rapidly toward the west tower. "Levi, look down, something's coming your way," she shouts. Levi looks over the edge and freezes. It's not just a few creatures, it's thousands of them, swarming toward the tower. Without wasting a second, Levi grabs his sniper rifle and starts taking them down, one by one. But their numbers are overwhelming, and he can't handle them alone. Seeing the threat, Drassa immediately picks up her machine gun. Drassa opens fire with her machine gun, raining bullets on the creatures. Soon, the Hollowmen start advancing toward the east tower as well. From their respective positions, both Levi and Drassa fight back fiercely. Taking down the creatures one by one, suddenly, Levi notices something terrifying. A creature has managed to climb all the way up to Drassa's tower. Just as it's about to attack her, Levi uses his incredible sniping skills from the west tower and takes the creature down with a perfect shot. In that moment, both Levi and Drassa realize something important. If they want to survive in this deadly place, they'll have to fight together once everything finally settles down. Drassa looks relieved and writes that this was the best birthday of her life. The next morning, Levi checks and repairs the landmines placed below and reloads the automatic guns. That's when something strange happens. A drone suddenly emerges from inside the chasm. For a few seconds, the drone hovers, staring directly at Levi. It begins scanning him in a bizarre manner. Levi is left completely stunned, unable to understand why the drone was sent or who sent it. Days pass like this, then weeks, and eventually, months. As Levi and Drassa's bond grows stronger, life becomes easier for both of them. Their days feel lighter now, and the loneliness that once consumed them is gone. But one day, Drassa seems unusually sad. It's February 14th. She remembers what her father had told her, that if cancer didn't take his life, he would end it himself on Valentine's Day. With a heavy heart, Drassa writes on the board and tells Levi, "Today, I feel extremely lonely. I feel extremely lonely today. If I had someone with me right now, it would mean everything." Levi had wanted to meet Drassa ever since the very first day, and today he can no longer hold himself back. He decides to go to her no matter the risk. Using a rocket launcher, Levi comes up with a plan to reach the East Tower. The next morning, he fires the rocket launcher and sends a strong rope across toward Drassa's tower. Drassa steps outside, secures the rope tightly around a tree, making it strong enough for Levi to cross. Without hesitation, Levi begins moving toward the East Tower, hanging from the rope. But halfway through, he gets stuck. The slope of the rope ends. Now, he has no choice but to move forward, using only his hands. After nearly 30 exhausting minutes of crawling hand over hand, Levi finally reaches Drossa's tower. Drossa welcomes him with a smile, but immediately teases him, saying, "You smell terrible. Take a shower first, then we'll talk." Levi can't help but laugh. He doesn't argue, just nods in agreement. Playfully, Drossa hides his clothes somewhere far away and watches him through the CCTV camera as he showers inside the tower. After that, Levi and Drossa sit together for a long time, talking endlessly. Drossa opens up and tells him her entire story. She admits that she has no one left in this world anymore, except her father. Her father was the only one left alive. But yesterday, he must have taken his own life. That night, Levi shares with Drossa the terrifying nightmares he's been having. Along with stories from his days in the US Army, they talk through the night. Opening up to each other, Drossa puts on some soft music, and soon they start dancing to the gentle rhythm. As they move together, they grow closer, and a spark of romance begins to form between them. After a while, Levi looks at Drossa with a smile and says, "I've written a poem for you. I'll give it to you when we leave this place." The next day, Levi has to return to the West Tower. He says goodbye to Drossa and begins making his way back along the rope. Drossa watches him go, her heart heavy. But then, chaos erupts. Creatures start climbing toward the towers again. One of them collides with a landmine, causing a massive explosion. Pieces of the mine fly through the air, and one shard hits the rope Levi is using. The rope snaps, and Levi plummets toward the deep chasm. Without thinking, Drossa grabs her parachute and jumps after him. Falling into the depths, Drossa lands in a fast-flowing river. Battling the strong current, she manages to get out and reach the riverbank safely. On the other side, Levi's luck holds. He lands on a large tree and is momentarily stuck. Though he's injured from the fall, he's alive. As soon as he opens his eyes, he sees a massive insect-like creature advancing toward him. He struggles to defend himself, but the branch he's holding onto suddenly snaps. He falls to the roots of the tree. The roots wrap around him, gripping him tightly, threatening to crush him. Just as it seems Levi might be doomed, Drossa arrives. She quickly draws a knife and starts cutting through the entangling roots. Freed, Levi gasps for air, and together he and Drossa survey their surroundings. Silence and an eerie sense of dread hang heavy in the air. Suddenly, more creatures emerge from behind the trees, attacking them. A brutal fight breaks out. Levi steadies his gun and takes his first shot, hitting one of the creatures right in the head. One after another, Levi and Drossa work together, taking down the attacking creatures with deadly precision. Levi's eyes then fall on the dead body of one creature. His blood runs cold. The creature is wearing a military uniform, the same kind once worn by American soldiers. The memory of JD's warning hits him hard. He recalls a story about 2,400 soldiers sent into this chasm back in 1940, none of whom ever returned. Alive, Levi and Drossa arrive at a place that feels disturbingly unreal, like something straight out of a nightmare. Rotten human bodies are scattered everywhere. The most horrifying sight is that plants and trees have grown out of these corpses. It looks as if a deadly virus has completely consumed this land. Suddenly, there's movement among the trees. Levi and Drossa immediately realize the creatures are chasing them again. Terrified, they start running and take shelter inside a broken, abandoned church. After locking the door, they witness a chilling scene inside. Human bodies lie all around. It looks as though these people took their own lives to escape the infection. Without warning, a massive spider jumps onto Drossa. More spiders emerge, huge in size and extremely aggressive. As the spiders attack, Levi and Drossa fight back together and manage to kill them. At the same time, the creatures break through the church doors and storm inside. Levi and Drossa open fire, barely managing to survive, and somehow escape the church alive. That's when Levi notices something ahead, an old tunnel carved into the mountain. Without hesitation, both of them rush inside. Once inside, they realize this isn't just a tunnel, it's an old laboratory. Broken glass, damaged machinery, and rusted containers are scattered everywhere. Levi finds an old DVD cassette and plays it. On the screen, a woman appears. She explains that they were working on a secret chemical missile project here, along with hundreds of scientists. One day, a powerful earthquake struck, causing the missile's chemical payload to leak. The toxic chemical spread into the air, and within hours, people began getting infected. She lifts her shirt slightly to show that she herself is infected. She explains that they informed the military and begged them to bomb the entire area to stop the infection from spreading, but their request was ignored. After watching the video, Levi finds a modern-era computer inside the lab. He's confused. How could such an advanced computer exist in a place like this? When he turns it on and checks the data, he's left completely stunned. He discovers information about a company called Dark Lake, a private organization that creates paramilitary forces. This company has been collecting samples from infected humans here and experimenting on them to turn their countries' soldiers into super soldiers. That's the real reason no country wants to destroy this place. Levi also learns another terrifying truth. The chasm holds a massive missile, and once it's activated, when it explodes, it will destroy a radius of nearly 4. The missile is enormous, capable of wiping out everything within a 2 kilometers radius. Levi and Drasa finally understand the full truth. They realize that the woman who sent them here, Lady Bartow, is actually the owner of this place. She's been exploiting it for her own purposes. To keep the facility a secret, Lady Bartow always selects someone for duty who has no one to question them. After a full year of service, that person is eliminated, just like JD, who was killed to ensure he couldn't leave and reveal the truth to the world. With this horrifying truth in mind, Levi and Drasa try to leave, but suddenly, a mounted creature grabs Drasa with a rope and carries her away. Levi frantically searches for her, but she's nowhere to be found. His desperate search leads him to a massive missile, the same one Dark Lake's computer had shown him. Everything clicks into place. The warnings in the watchtower about running whenever the sirens sound, they were actually referring to this missile. Meanwhile, Drasa struggles to free herself from the creature's grip. Using all her strength, she finally breaks free. A fierce battle erupts between her and the creature. Levi, following her trail, arrives just in time. Levi immediately attacks the creature, and together, he and Drasa set it on fire, finally eliminating it. Now comes the most challenging part, escaping this place alive. But the path ahead is even more treacherous. They reach an area where humans and plants are unnaturally fused together, as if some horrific experiment had gone horribly wrong. Every step forward is a deadly gamble. Suddenly, Drasa's foot slips, activating the plants. They spring to life and grab hold of her. Levi, showing immense courage, charges forward and frees Drasa with all his strength. Using explosives, he destroys the entire plant system, clearing the path. With Drasa safe, the two continue moving forward. Soon, they spot a garage with a car parked inside. They jump in and quickly start driving, trying desperately to escape. After covering some distance, they notice a rope extending all the way up to a watchtower. But the creatures are closing in fast, pursuing them relentlessly. Climbing the rope by hand would be suicidal. The creatures would easily kill them before they reached the top. Thinking fast, Levi comes up with a plan. He ties the car to the rope and begins hoisting it upward. By using the car as a lift, both Levi and Drasa can safely ascend without falling prey to the creatures, so they stay seated inside the Jeep, keeping their hands free to fight the creatures. The creatures attack in large numbers, and a massive battle breaks out. But there are simply too many of them, and the creatures begin to overpower Levi and Drasa. That's when Levi comes up with a brilliant idea. He deliberately leaks fuel from the Jeep's petrol tank onto the creatures. Then he sets the spilled fuel on fire, burning all the creatures at once. Finally, they cut the rope tied to the Jeep and let it fall down, crushing and killing the remaining creatures below. With this, Levi and Drasa finally manage to climb up safely. Now both of them fully understand the truth. Even if they complete an entire year of duty here, they will eventually be killed just like the others. so they make a bold decision. Instead of protecting this place, they decide to destroy it completely, so no other soldier ever gets trapped here again, and the misuse of this location finally comes to an end. After destroying the place, they plan to leave and start a new life together. Drassa tells Levi that she has a safe place to hide in France. She says they will go there, get married, and spend the rest of their lives together. Levi agrees, but first, he says he must return to his tower. Levi explains that he needs to plant a bomb inside the tower and also activate the missile. Once the missile is triggered, the entire area will be completely destroyed. Using the rope, Levi climbs back to his watchtower. Meanwhile, Lady Bardo contacts him and asks directly whether he went down into the pit, because someone has activated their computer system. Levi lies and tells her that he never went down there, but Barto already knows he's lying. She has seen everything on the security cameras. Levi and Drassa both entered the pit. Still, she continues the conversation and says that if Levi didn't go inside, then obviously the West Tower guard must be responsible. She orders Levi to kill the West Tower guard Drassa because she broke the rules. Levi agrees on the call, but Barto understands that he won't actually kill her. She realizes that both of them are planning to escape and expose the truth about this place to the world. That's why she personally heads there in a helicopter. However, before Barto arrives, Levi and Drassa have already completed their preparations. Levi moves far away from his tower and takes the longest shot of his life. He fires directly at the tower structure connected to the missile system. The bullet hits its target and a loud siren immediately starts blaring. Now, time is running out. Both of them start running at full speed because once the missile explodes, it will destroy everything within a 4-kilometer radius. The missile was about to destroy an area of 2 kilometers. Levi and Drassa ran with all their strength toward the forest. Drassa, escaping for her life, managed to get quite far away, but Levi had been injured in his leg and couldn't run fast. Meanwhile, Barto realized the missile was about to explode. At that exact moment, the missile was activated, causing a massive explosion that began to annihilate the entire pit. The blast was so powerful that its shockwaves and flames spread far and wide. Barto's helicopter was caught in the devastation, and she was killed instantly. Drassa had already covered a distance of 4.2 kilometers. But Levi wasn't so lucky. He got caught in the blast wave, and the force of the explosion threw him into the water. On the other hand, all the creatures inside the pit were obliterated. Now, only Drassa survived the explosion. She reached a high point and waited for Levi, standing there as night fell. But no sign of Levi ever appeared. Gradually, she realized the truth. Levi had not survived. The story now jumps ahead by a few months. Drassa reads the poem Levi had written. Every word carries his memory, filling her heart with emotions she can barely hold back. Tears well up in her eyes as she tries to steady herself, determined to start a new life. Drassa begins working as a waitress in a hotel in France. But then one day, something unexpected happens right in front of her. Suddenly, Levi appears standing, alive before her. He had survived. Seeing Levi, Drassa's eyes widen in disbelief. Overwhelmed with joy, she runs to him and hugs him tightly, unable to contain her happiness. And with this heartfelt reunion, the story comes to a close. If you enjoyed this adventure, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video.
And that wraps up today's story. Now we want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments, and let's see how far these stories reach. If this story moved you or gave you chills, give it a like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories. One last thing, rate the story from 1 to 10 in the comments. Your feedback helps us bring you even better ones next time. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you being part of this storytelling journey.